All right, now what we're going to do is just review how to do calibration on the 480. A couple things. When we calibrate it at the factory, we are using 100 pounds, and you may not have 100 pounds ready, or if you're in a metric, you may have 25 kilos or 50 kilos or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on here how to verify what the current calibration weight is on the machine and how to change it. So if we come in here close right now, if I go back up here into number 2, display reports, and there's the weight calibration. Now if I hit the weight calibration without hitting anything else, I don't get into the weight calibration, I can see right now that it's about to calibrate to 100 pounds. Now let's suppose that I only want to calibrate, I only have 50 pounds, or I'm working in kilos. What I can do is I'll come back out here, which says 7, go back, and actually I go into the properties menu, number 4 here. All right. From there I go into number 2, which says calibration. All right. Now you'll see a list come up here. The upper weight value. Now those are the two, upper weight value and the upper weight units, where I want to set exactly what it is I'm going to be calibrating to. So number 1, upper weight value. Right now I'm going to calibrate to 50. Now whenever you see this arrow and those little dots, that means you can go down. You just use this as your ability to scroll back up and down. Now in the case here, you'll see that number 3 is selected at 100. Now I'm going to do 50 pounds. So I hit number 2, and you'll see the 50 pounds is listed. Now I'm going to return, which is 0. And now I'm going to check the upper weight units. Okay, pounds and kilograms. So if typically, if you didn't have 50 pounds, you might have 25 kilos. You can hit number 2 to change it into kilos. In my case here, I'm using 50-pound weight, so I'm just going to go number 1. And once I've hit that, I can hit return. I'm going to hit return again. I'm back in the beginning of the properties menu. And if I hit return or 0 again, I'm back into the diagnostics display. Now what I can do is hit number 2 for weight calibration. Now I hit it up there, and if I take a look up here in the corner, 50 pounds, that is the weight that I will be calibrating with. Now I'll go through the procedure. In one of the areas when I was showing components, I showed the hub board and the fact that you've got 4 sensors that go into the board, and the board actually does it using digitizing mathematics to find out the nuances of each of the 4 weights and to bring them in. So what we will be doing actually is doing 4 different measurements, and it's looking at all 4 load cells and seeing how they respond, and from that it can calculate any weight anywhere on the table to very good accuracy. First thing we do is to record the lower rate. What it basically says is the table is empty. I need to record that. If I press the button here, you'll see recording. It's recorded. All right. Now I've got to record load cell number 1. It doesn't matter really which load cells that you're doing over, but there's 1 in each corner. I can start in any corner. So I'm going to take this unit here, and I'm going to mention one thing for you to be careful of. This last roller is a fixed roller. It is used when they do the initial setup of the machines. The idea is that it helps protect the scale from excessive banging or whatever, because this roller is usually set slightly higher so that the box hits here and it drops on the platform. And but it is not part of the platform. In other words, this does not actually add to the weight. So now I'm going to start with my first thing. I'm going to slide it into one corner over top of a load cell. And then I go back here, number 2, which says record load cell number 1. So I press the button. You'll also see that there's a little display up there that flashes on your status lights to show you as you're doing them. I slide this over again, making sure I'm still on the table and I'm on the rollers. And now I'm over my second load cell, so I will press for load cell number 2. It will do recording. Again, you see some flashing. It's recorded it pretty quickly there. I move this over to another part of the table here. Okay, that'll be my third load cell. As I say, it doesn't matter the order, but they should be all over top of each of the load cells, or close to the load cells. In this case here, I'm going to hit record number 3. I'm recording. Okay, it says recorded here. The lights have stopped flashing. The last one I have here, I move it over to this part of the table. And I now record for load cell number 4. Now it's recorded. Now, the last thing I have to do, it's now taken a reference, a new reference for all the load cells, and it's going to calculate the weight based on those load cells. So I press number 6, which is calculate new upper, or calculate the new upper weight. So what it's doing now is it's taking every load cell, the characteristics, and it's now done. So it's finished doing it. You'll see recorded all the way up here. Now I can just to make, I'm going to jump out by pressing the prog key because it makes it easier to see the weight. And you'll see the 50.0, which is of course my calibrated weight. I can verify, because no matter where I move this onto the table, it will always show the 50.0. And you can verify it because no matter where you put it, it will calculate everything out using the 4 load cells and always come up again. You'll see the 50.0. So that's how we do the calibration on the weight.